This is a quick review of the racing wheel Logitech G29. I've been using this wheel for almost a year, and so I'm going to give my personal opinion on this wheel in this video. I must say that I have not used any other wheels before, nor have I tested any other wheels. So this is my primary wheel and my only wheel which I have used. So this wheel comes with the wheel itself and the pedal. So I'm using the stock pedals that comes with the wheel. The wheel, you can attach the gear stick to the wheel as well. I'm using it. However, the gear does not is not included with the wheel. You have to buy it separately. If you do buy this separately, it's around 35 to 40 pounds. I bought this wheel and the gear stick together for around 180 pounds from PC World last year. There was this promotion going on, so yeah, so if this promotion wasn't going on, I would have had to pay 220 pounds, but because of that promotion I didn't have to pay for this gear. It was included. So now let's move on to the wheel. I've watched many reviews of this wheel on YouTube, and I have watched many other reviews of other wheels on YouTube, and there is a trend that many other wheels at this price range, or at a price range a little higher than this, the wheel itself, the wheel radius is larger than the wheel radius of this wheel. So here is a size comparison. So here I have my hands on the wheel, and it's not a big wheel, but I wouldn't say it's too small either. It fits comfortably in your hands, and I would say it's large enough. And the wheel is made out of I believe this is plastic, hard plastic, but it does feel well, and it's very hard to the touch, and I don't know if you can see, but the wheels are stitched together, and it has, I personally have the Logitech G29, which is the PlayStation variant, PlayStation 4 variant of the wheel. You also can get the Logitech G920, which is the Xbox variant of the wheel. I personally went for the PlayStation variant simply because it has more buttons, as you can see, and I just like the look of this wheel over than the G920. And as you can see, it has a blue accent on the wheel, and I am a big fan of this design. Here you can also see a rotary wheel. You can spin it around. This is very useful if you want to, in racing games, for example, you have different settings and you just wanna scroll through the settings of your car. You can simply use this and press this button to select your settings, and etc. So you have all the buttons which you have on the PlayStation controllers, and the button They do feel very well and solid. And yes, if you wish to use this wheel on the PlayStation 3, you can do this as well. All you have to do is there is a switch here. So if you wish to use it on the PlayStation 3, all you have to do is place this switch in the right position, and it's as simple as that. I use this wheel on my with my PC. So in order to use it on the PC, you have to move this to PlayStation 4. Now, the gear itself, it's made of plastic mainly, and I haven't used any other gear stick, so I don't know how it compares to other gear sticks. And if you want to reverse, you press down and then go like this, and that's and you're in reverse. Yes, as you can hear, it's made of plastic, but I have used it for some time and it hasn't given me any issues. Sometimes when I change the gears really quickly, you have to get the right feeling for changing the gears. The only issue I have with this gear is that when I want to go to reverse, sometimes even when I press down and then I go like this, when I'm doing it too quickly, it doesn't lock in properly, so you have to be aware of this. And occasionally I have some issues from moving from the 4th gear to the 5th gear, as it doesn't again lock in properly. But if you do it not too quickly, if you do it nicely, it does the job pretty well. And for £40, I guess it's worth it. But again, I didn't have to pay for it, so I'm not complaining about it too much. The wheel itself feels very good. It has good force feedback. The wheel uses 2 motors for force feedback, and so far it hasn't given me any issues. However, there is one minor concern I have with this wheel, which is when I am turning the wheel whilst the motor is off, I have no issues, but when the motor is on and I turn left, it makes a squeaking sound, and which is very concerning. It sounds like metal grinding on the metal. Probably it's grinding on the motor, and it doesn't sound very healthy. It's kind of concerning, but the sound isn't very loud, but audible. So I have not contacted Logitech about it because it hasn't given me any serious issues, and it hasn't affected the driving quality. However, I can hear this squeaking sound, which is a little concerning. If it does get worse, I will definitely contact Logitech about it and see what they can do. Now let's move onto the pedals, the gear changing pedals. The gear changing pedals feel solid. They are made of metal, and they have this satisfying click to it, as you can hear. And now let's look at the design of the wheel itself. This looks like the front of the car. Very nice, very nice. It uses the same style as the Logitech G27. I don't know if you have realized, I am using the Wheel Stand Pro. It's the version 2 of the Wheel Stand Pro. For the wheel, so I've mounted this wheel on the Wheel Stand Pro, and yes, it's a good wheel mount. It's sturdy, and yeah. The only thing as you can see, when I move this, it kinda this stand lifts up a little. The stand lifts up a little. The feet of the stand lift up a little. So I don't think the stand is completely flat even, but it's not a huge deal. But again, it's not perfect either, because it's supposed to be flat and even. Now let's move on to the pedals itself. So the pedals feel very very good in my opinion. And yes, the acceleration does not necessarily require much force to press. The brake, however, does require some force for it to be pressed down completely, and the clutch also feels very nice, and it also requires some force for it to be pressed down completely. And this is this pedal is not like the old pedal from Logitech G27, where some people were complaining about the pedals not having resistance, but they do have these pedals do have resistance, and it depends on the pedal itself. So the the acceleration pedal will require a different force for it to be pressed down than let's say the brake and clutch pedal. So yes, this was a quick review of the Logitech G29. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.